Some time ago, I put up this video of me doing this with my old push. Wow, this is so meta! I'm filming a desktop video which features a video of me filming a desktop. Ignore the adverts. Anyway, so I did this video and some very enthusiastic people said, please can you explain? I don't understand. Hang on, this guy said sexy. Olaf Schroeder said it's sexy as F word. He's got a scary face. Crazy. Orgasm. Oh, wow. These comments are very rude. You're a genius, period. Okay. Well, thank you all for the very kind comments, and I'm not going to do a tutorial about it because I can't remember how I did it, so I'm going to reverse engineer it. So here it is. I've got a hi-hat there. So basically what this does is use loads of layering inside cells. So, and kind of a combination of stacking up different chains inside one thing to have them all nicely nested in this layout. Now, I'm also kind of using a drum kit layout, which is something that I've configured or settled on based around a way that I've taught myself how to do this, which I've explained previously, having the kick on this one, some snares here, hats open and closed, choked here, so I can do like a 16 beat. And toms, which you can't actually hear because the bass is really loud, but they're there. And bass, ride, crashes. And underneath all of those are some instruments that also have some sort of random MIDI effects behind them in order to give them a bit of variety. With a little bit of velocity stuff, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, so let's go deep. Let's go deep. I'll make the screen nice and big. As big as it'll go. Right, okay, so this is, in fact, an instrument rack. But strangely enough, when you group drum racks to an instrument rack, it kind of does it in this drum rack layout, which is kind of convenient. I'd actually quite like to be able to have the choice. It'd be very interesting to have a drum rack inside an instrument rack with the normal note layout. I'd like to see that one day. Probably won't happen. And so you can see in here that there are all these different chains. So let's start with the drum kit. Let's open up the drum kit. And so this is just a pretty standard. There's all the sounds there. Very nice. And let's look at the key mapping. Oh, not the key mapping. No, chain. All right, so nothing's happening in the key mapping in the master instrument rack. So, okay. Well, there's the drum kit. That's pretty straightforward. Let's look at the bass. Bass, where are you? Oh, okay. What's going on here? Okay, so what have we got? Oh, loads of crap. Oh, what's all this stuff nested inside other stuff? Oh my god, no. How am I going to work this out? I guess we could go back. Let's make our way backwards. Okay, so we've got the bass sound. Oh, I can solo this. So yeah, okay, right, okay, so. Okay, so what I've done is got a bass sound, right? It's a synthy thing. That's just 2 instances grouped to give it a bit of, make it sound a bit fat. There's velocity there as well. Cool, that's nice. And then before that, I've used a Dorian mode, which we all know is the funkiest mode, the freaky mode for funky jazz. And then before that, I've got a random plugin, which I guess is just giving me on that key anyway, or is it on all of them? Okay, I think maybe on all of them I've got that running. Yeah, so that's at the end. That's kind of at the end of, we've got some MIDI racks here which are doing some stuff we'll get onto in a minute. So that, I'm using that with not too much chance to just give a little bit of variety. Because I think when you're doing funky jazz, like, unless you're doing sort of way out there fusion where everyone's just doing whatever they want and yet somehow on the same plane, you don't really want the bass to do that much. You want it to just kind of vamp around. But it's kind of doing enough variety that it doesn't get boring. Which is nice. And then so what? Okay, let's move along then. Okay, so here, what's this? Couple of velocity things. Okay, so if I hit it really hard, it goes up an octave. And if I hit it really hard, yeah, if I hit it really hard. Oh, I've crashed my push. One day I'll do a video where push 2 doesn't crash. I think it's probably the webcam. If I have the webcam running, it sometimes gets a bit upset. Okay, so that's how we're doing our sort of variety funky bass. And then yeah, this is quite important, this bit here. So what I've got here is a MIDI effect rack where I've done some key zoning, I guess is the word. So I've basically kind of used some key zoning to filter out how much of the pads I want to use for the bass, which are just these ones. So you can kind of see there that I've mapped those. Anything else won't come through. I've just put some zones in there to filter out, or in, whichever way you look at it, the notes that I want to use. And that's it. That's the bass. We've done all that, and that's just the bass. Fuck. Right, okay, let's move on then. Let's close all that. Let's look at the keys. Okay, so yeah, the keys are doing something kind of similar. Let's look at the keys first. Should we go... Oh my god, more of this crap. All right, so a little bit of amp. Oh, the amp just makes it all sound grungy and then I just dropped in like an electric, really nice. It's really good. I love the electric. Really versatile. Pretty good for doing all kinds of things, not just electric pianos, but just very metallic stuff. Okay, so there we've got our funky Dorian mode again. And then what is all this? Okay, so note length. I've got much velocity there. Okay, so similarly to the bass, I've done more key zoning here so that I could filter out the pads that I want to use to trigger that electric piano, which is that one. Okay, so we've got some velocity. Okay, so are they all different chains? If I go over a velocity, I get nothing. Why is that then? Okay, so that one, just a single note. What's on this one? I got two there, two chains. Oh, one's long, one's short. Ah, okay, now we've got... Okay, so got some velocity mapping as well. God, what was I doing? Was I on drugs when I did this? Crazy, right. So, on this pad, we've got random chords. Now, if I hit it softly, I get spiky short chords. If I hit it hard, I get like a long release, and that's because what I've done is I've mapped a separate chain to a different velocity. So you can see it's just, it's the maximum velocity. So if I hit that really hard, using this note length, I get a really long note, which is nice. And I think I've done the same somewhere else, probably on these ones. These ones I don't have to, so they're full velocity across. So it doesn't matter how hard I hit them, I'm going to get a long... That one's just a note. That's a droney. That's a more longer note compared to that one. Short stabby note. Long. Cool, yeah. So, really, this is sort of just loads of nesting of MIDI effects and velocity zoning and key zoning, I suppose, and then using different chains of MIDI effects to trigger different events based around how hard the key is pressed, particularly on the snare. So if I hit it softly, I get stabby. If I hit it hard, which is really good for the dynamics later, because obviously the velocity sensitivity on these controllers is really good, so you can get some nice velocity out. So that's the keys, and then the horns is just all on one key. Let's have a look at the horns. The horns is just on this key, which is 3 horns, a trumpet, a French horn, and an alto sax, to do a kind of weird sort of Miles Davis-y kind of Bitches Brew Big Fun era sort of strung out. Wah. Spooky. And then, yeah, again, similar sort of thing, random. I think there's one. So on each instrument, there's the same sort of setup. Random MIDI and Dorian mode scaling and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then what have we got here? Some filter, ping pong, amp stuff. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, that's it, really. And then it's just a case of getting a feel for it. I got the 3 snares together. Well, that's actually a click, but so I can do like a boodly-dum. And if I hit them like really softly, then the keys and the horns should react. Okay. So, I hope that this was informative. Yeah. Again, I appreciate all the enthusiasm for finding out how it was made, and maybe if you go and go on Patreon and pledge or whatever, I'll put it up there and you can have it, or maybe I'll just put it somewhere. I don't know. Just trying to get my head around Patreon or Patreon. I don't know how it's pronounced, Patreon, and just trying to sort of work out what I can do to really make it worthwhile for anyone or for me. I don't know, but yeah, I'd love some feedback, some ideas on what to do with that. So maybe go over there and you will get cool things exclusive. Yeah, cool. All right. Thanks for watching.